Hi, I'm Saket Bansal. I educate professionals on project program and portfolio management. And in this video, I am taking PFMP as a focus area and addressing 10 frequently asked questions related to portfolio management certification called PFMP from PMI. I will use PMI website in between. The first question is, what is PFMP certification? Let's look at PMI website and find it out. So PMI defines the PfMP portfolio management professional is something which enables you, improves your skills in ensuring coordinated approach for various projects, programs, and some of the operational activities which might be coming under your portfolio. PfMP holders are expected to demonstrate how they balance the demand as per the capacity available in the organization and how they align the overall organization resources to achieve organizational strategic objective. In a simple word, PfMP certification helps us in demonstrating that I have a portfolio management skills. If my portfolio contains multiple projects, programs, and operations, I know how to make sure that they remain aligned to organization strategic objective, and I apply appropriate tools and techniques which help my management to achieve maximum results out of our portfolio activity. This is your PFMP certification, and this is the promise you are making when you are doing PFMP certification. The second question comes in is, who should do PFMP certification? And in a way, it is connected. Yeah, when we spoke about PFMP certification, the second thing is coming in. Yeah, who is the right people to do it? Now, PMI has their own theoretical definition where they will tell anyone who is involved in portfolio should do portfolio management certification, which is perfectly right. But in general, what I observe from the industry, because when you are listening to me, you are not expecting PMI answer here. If you are involved in doing some amount of account management, you are having overall accountability of multiple projects and programs, and organization allocates some amount of funding to you every year, and you are expected to make sure that that funding is utilized well. Overall profitability, return on investment in those multiple projects and programs and operations comes under you. You are actually a right candidate for PFMP certification. Now, many a time, people who do PFMP certification are the one who are taking these kind of management roles. There is a possibility sometimes you are not the one who makes decisions related to multiple projects, programs, and operational which are coming under you. You might be ensuring appropriate alignment, governance, and you might be presenting your recommendation to the governance group. That is also perfectly okay, which means you are doing portfolio management, and that's why you should do PFMP certification. Many a time, I also find people who are senior, they are account manager, they are handling portfolio, and they wanted to have some PMI certificate in their profile, and they understand PMP is too much project oriented. They end up doing PFMP certification. From a percentage point of view, yes, only a fraction of PMP certified professionals probably end up doing PFMP. You can say the PFMP certification is 1.5 plus million, and here you may have in thousands only, and sometimes even in hundreds, very, very less number compared to PMP certification. But it is a niche product which is basically meant for people who are in a senior positions. Usually you see PFMP certification done by people who have minimum 15 years of experience. Though from a PMI perspective, 8 years are good enough, but in general, we observe senior executive taking various accounts in their responsibility taking care of, then they are the one who do PFMP certification. The third question, which is again connected after I understand what is PFMP and who should do it roughly, what is the eligibility criteria? So as usual, you can definitely go to the PMI website to get more details. And I briefly show you how you can navigate to the eligibility criteria section of the PMI website. You see, as you scroll down, they have a decent explanation. And here you find that overall your eligibility. Now, if you have a secondary diploma, if you have a GAC accredited program, there are other options. But I'm talking about the generic one, which most of you will fall. If you have a bachelor degree, you need to demonstrate overall 8 years of professional experience in the industry. And then you need to demonstrate 4 years in a portfolio management. That's it. So you need to make sure that you have been working in the management or the enterprise level, business level experience for 8 years, and then you have done 4 years of portfolio management. Now, within these 8 years, you can have that 4 year as a portfolio manager as well, but overall 8 years of experience is needed in order to do a PfMP certification. So that's the third question. Let's explore question number 4. What is the certification process? How do I get PfMP certification? So here things get little tricky. They are not as straightforward as PMP. PfMP certification is considered as an expert level certification, and PMI is not expecting that they can judge individuals' performance just based on the online test which they are taking. It's difficult for them to judge that. So what they're saying is you need to write about your experience, and there will be evaluation of quality of your experience. So it's like you need to write some essays, and then once we feel that your descriptions were great and your experience is something in alignment, and we understand your portfolio management experience and quality of your experience, then we go into the online test. So there is a 2-step process. Step 1, application, which get panel reviewed. And once I pass the panel review, I can say one stage is over, then I need to go for exam, online exam, which will get conducted as you have done other PMI exams. So certification process is pretty 2-step or a straightforward process in general. Unless you don't understand it, it looks complicated. So step 1, you apply for application. The application is not as simple as PMP application. In a PMP application case, the PMI staff reviews it and they see that are you putting the right amount of tools and techniques and activities which makes you project manager, and then they move forward. Similarly, there will be application review which validate your experience and the descriptions which looks like a portfolio management experience. PMI will do it. But after that, they will also send your application to a designated panel who are portfolio management certified individuals, and they are expected to check your answers. You need to give 5 answers and see the quality and the depth of your experience. And once they say you are good to go, then you can go for the exam. That's the PfMP certification process. Now, the 4th question can come up is, what is the application process? Can you a little bit detail about the application process itself? So say, as you show interest in doing PfMP certification, you create your account at pmi.org. Any PMI certificate, PMP, PfMP, PGMP, the starting process is same. So you create your account at pmi.org, you start filling the PfMP application. You fill your details related to your business experience, which is straightforward, just like start date, end date, designation, reporting, that kind of stuff only. You should be working in some professional setup. That's something you put. Then they will take you and define and say that describe your portfolio experience. So on your application, you will write about your portfolio detail. You may talk about what kind of business problem it was solving, what were the candidate component on it, what kind of scope of your portfolio, what you did in the portfolio. You describe your portfolio experience, and that should be overall 4 years. There could be one portfolio which might be running for 4 years, or you might have worked on 2 portfolio. That depends, but overall the duration should match to 4 years. Once that is done, then you move forward, and they will give you 5 areas where you need to talk about your experience or answers, 5 areas. And in those 5 areas, they will give you choice of prompt. So there is a question, you need to answer that question. And that each question has 2 options. So for example, in each domain, you can look for 2 alternatives. You can choose one. And in that, you need to explain how you have handled that area in 500 words. So you write those details. Once everything is good, 5 answers of 500 words are done. Then you save your application and submit to PMI. PMI reviews it for the completeness and the quality of your portfolio management experience, which is done by PMI staff. Once they like it, then they will forward panel review. Once they like it, they ask you to make the payment for your PfMP exam as well. Unlike PMP, where you give payment and you just go for exam, here you give the money before your application goes for panel review. And then panel review takes some time, usually 1 week. They talk about that it can take up to 8 weeks and all, but in our experience, if you have written a good application, 1 to 2 weeks is the time you see. Once the panel gives you go ahead, then you can go for exam. So the overall application process is this. I will create a separate detailed video where we will explain the complete application process soon. So if you are subscribed to our channel, you will get notified about that. Yeah. So that was our fifth question, the overall application process. Now the question number 6 is, what is the format of PfMP exam? So in general, it's an online exam, 170 questions, 4 hours, no scheduled break, unlike PMP where you get 10 minutes break. Here there is no scheduled break, but you can take a break whenever you want, depending upon your center and all, but your time will keep running. So in general, people find the time sufficient to answer 170 questions. Most of the questions will be multiple choice with single choice right. So I would say maybe 100% of the questions will be single choice right, or at least 95% questions will be single choice right. If you get a 2 choice right, they will remind you that you need to select 2 options. So all the questions coming from the exam content outline focused topics. So we will talk about how to prepare. So 170 questions, you have 4 hours to handle it. Yes, the exam as usual, the same PMP format, you can use calculator and all those things. As of now, these exams can only be given in center. You can't do home proctored exam. So you need to find appropriate center to give this particular exam. That's your PfMP exam detail. Now, as you know, in general, from all PMI certificates, there is no clarity about what is a pass marks and all. So PMI judge you based on your performance, and they will give you ranking into these some domains. And based on that, they are overall calculate that you are good to get certified or not. But the exact percentage and what kind of questions you were right or wrong is something remain mystery. So you don't even know, even if you certified, how many questions were right or wrong. So that's the usual thing. If you have studied or explored any PMI exam, then you know that particular process. Now, question number 7, which sometimes becomes very, very tricky and important. How can I prepare for PfMP exam? So say, in general, the PMI has a standard. They call it standard for portfolio management. You just need to study that. So any PMI exam, what they do, they publish something called exam content outline. So when you go to PMI website, you can find the PMI's exam content outline, PfMP exam content outline. So I'm just navigating to the site again to show you where you can find it. So at the same place where you see your PfMP certification detail, you go and you can say that there is something called ECU. You can click download and it will open up a PDF file for you, and that PDF file will show you the PfMP exam content outline. So this is what you follow. Now, PMI will take the exam as per this. They have 5 groups. They call it 5 domains, which will get tested. The domains also has a percentage allocation when related to the number of questions you see. The type of, so they tell 25% around strategic alignment, then you have a governance, then you have a portfolio performance, then you have overall risk management and communication management. These are the domains which we have. And if you scroll down, you can find more details about what is expected to be done by the portfolio manager. So one thing is that you should be familiar with all these tasks, and that makes you ready for your PfMP exam. Now, beyond this, you also need to study portfolio management standard. Now, here there is a confusion. PMI, the latest standard of PMI is portfolio management standard 4th edition, whereas the past one was a 3rd edition, obviously. The exam content outline, the way they have divided the domain and the language they use is more still aligned to 3rd edition. Though the core content is more or less same. If I talk about the essence of both the editions are more or less same, but you won't lose much while you are preparing for PfMP exam if you just focus on 3rd edition. Maybe you can briefly look at the 4th edition, but if you only focus on 4th edition, then you may end up losing a little bit more content. You may still get certified, because overall it's an exam content outline, not the standard. But in general, my recommendation is make sure that you look at the 3rd edition, and maybe briefly you can look at a 4th edition if you what? Yeah. So you need to understand the exam content outline, you need to understand the portfolio management standard, and you can also enroll to some courses. Now, we also have a course which can help you in getting the right set of questions and developing the right mindset for your PFMP exam that could ensure that you don't end up taking retake, because retakes are expensive. It's a $600 retake. The first exam itself will take $800 if you are a PMI member. So you want to make sure that you go with preparation. And second thing is, our programs just not limit to the exam which you see in the online test. It also builds a good portfolio management understanding. So that's another option you can explore, that yes, I probably want to get enrolled to my program. So that's the question number 7. How can I prepare? And I give you some ideas. If you have any follow-up idea in any question, drop a comment in our comment section. Now, how difficult is PFMP exam? Yeah, that's sometime, and sometimes people also ask, how much time does it take to prepare for PFMP exam? Pretty much interconnected question. So I would say that the spread of content is limited. There are not many ideas. So say when we study PMP, we end up learning various new jargons, and there is a agile flavors as well. So it has a good, you can say, good vocabulary you need to prepare. Yeah. But when you are focusing on PFMP, and especially if you are doing portfolio management, you might be using that vocabulary already. But if you are not using it, the number of terms you need to understand is 30 to 40% of PMP. Yeah, that's something you can consider. And when it comes to PGMP, if you want to compare, it will definitely, PGMP, I feel it's simpler than PMP, but based on my client's experience, I can say, because a lot of people fail in PGMP exam, I can say it's complicated. But let's come back to PFMP. I would say it's simpler than PMP and PGMP. If you have done PGMP and PMP, then the coverage is not that much. But again, it also depends upon the quality of experience. If you have never worked as a portfolio manager and all these terms are becoming first time for you, you are getting little first time understanding of strategic management and all, and somehow you have managed your eligibility, but you have never worked into those areas, then it can become little tricky. But if you have a decent vocabulary of portfolio management and you have some amount of experience, good quality, decent quality experience, then it's a pretty much predictable exam. You probably need to spend around 30 to 60 hours maximum. Yeah. You need to take some mock tests and practice to make sure that you are doing good, because retake is expensive. So don't underestimate it, because you have a retake risk as well. But in general, if you have a right mock test, if you have a right guidance, mock test is very important, because if you say that if I have memorized 100% of portfolio standard, you still will get questions which are not explained in your portfolio standard. Yeah. So say there could be a question on earned value management, which is not coming in your portfolio standard. You need to calculate cumulative indexes and all. And sometimes maybe questions are only 2-3, but they create a mental pressure. Oh, this is something I never seen. Yeah. You do get a question where you need to focus on selecting appropriate portfolio by using some data and figures, which you may not see in your portfolio management standard. So understanding the exam outline and then having a reliable mock test, which helps you in really understanding what you can expect when you are going for the exam, is the key. Yeah. But if you have a right content, then exam is not difficult. It is pretty much predictable, and you can do it in your first attempt. Yeah, that's the thing which I can say. 60 to 70 hours is a good amount of time you can think of preparing for it. Now, many a time we get a question, how many contact hours PDUs are needed for PFMP exam, especially people who have done PMP, PMI, ACP from PMI, they know, something called PDUs are needed for any PMI exam. So the good news is PMI is not mandating any number of contact hours or PDUs for PFMP exam. It's not a part of eligibility criteria. Eligibility criteria is only limited to your education and experience. So experience is a function of education. If you have done a bachelor degree, then you need to have 8 years. If you have not done a bachelor degree, then you need to add more years to your experience. That's it. Yeah. Now, when you enroll to program, which helps you in learning portfolio management. Your goal is learning and preparing for exam. Your goal is not to earn any mandatory contact hours. Definitely, if you earn some PDUs and contact hours, you can use them for renewal of your PfMP. After you get certified, you need 60 PDUs to renew it for another 3 years. So every 3 years, you have a renewal cycle, but not needed for giving the exam. Yeah, so that's an important question which you probably want to get to know about. Now, can I pursue PfMP exam without having PMP? Now, sometimes I think, why are you asking this question? Because portfolio is portfolio, project is project. Yeah, that something is little looks irrelevant. But to put little twist, even when you see a PMI official recommendation, what should I prepare? They will put a PMBOK guide as a preparation material as well. They will say, no, you should probably need to know project management as well. So say the basic terminology of project management is expected to be known. Yeah, if you don't know what is risk, if you don't know what is overall health check, what is the schedule, what is procurement, contracts, then some of the questions you may not understand. Yeah, but in general, when you do a portfolio management, that much understanding you have. But portfolio management is more like oversight, governance, problem-solving kind of role. It is not an execution role. It's more strategic alignment role. So my engagement related to projects is limited to I give them a right direction, I give them a right resources, and I take care of their problems when they escalate to me. Yeah, that much is only needed, and I should be able to know what they are speaking. Yeah, that's what expected from a portfolio management, which is very different from a program management. Yeah, program management, as the way PMI says, that you are expected to master the project management as well, because program is including various projects. So when come back to the PfMP exam, PMP certification is not mandatory. There is no much advantage of doing PMP certification for making PfMP easy. Yeah. So it's not like that I must do that. If you are not familiar with project management terminologies, when you are going through the portfolio management preparation, whenever you see those terms, better you demystify them. For example, if you don't understand about procurement process, which is very unlikely though, but when you see it, you try to understand that. Yeah. But detail testing of your project management skill is not going to happen. Hardly there could be 1 or 2 or maximum 5 questions where they talk about some problems which are coming from project area. 99% of the questions are more focused on how do you ensure strategic alignment, how do you ensure governance, how do you ensure benefits realization, how do you ensure the organization executives are in line. That kind of area is focused, so you don't have to worry about PMP certification. So this is all about 10 questions on your PfMP certification. Any follow-up query, please put into the comment. You want to know about our program, visit our website, eisenbridge.com. You can navigate to our portfolio topic, and we should be able to help you to get your PfMP certification in a shortest possible